What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus deck profile. Today we're over at Labrynth. With the new Maze of Millennia being dropped this Wednesday, this deck is going to be extremely more powerful. You're going to be seeing it everywhere. We are including the Transition Rollback as well as the Rumble to Fool. They're proxy in the deck, but I want to be showcasing off what I've been playing and testing with this deck. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and want to see some combo videos with this or some test hands, let me know in the comment section down below. If this video gets to 50 likes, I'll do some test hand videos, which is fine. I want to be doing at least one of those a week, which is pretty nice. So we're going to start off with the Lovely. This is very standard, playing one of it. You don't really have to explain much more than this. It does stop your Ash, stops your Bells, when you want to get your Welcomes live. But very nice. Two Ladies. No one's playing less than two. This is just absolutely mandatory. I know a lot of the times when you're going second, or you can cut one of them, but a lot of times you want to play two of these. If you guys have been watching the channel for a long time, I've never liked 3 Butler. But with the 11 traps that we're now playing, Butler is extremely mandatory at 3 because you're able to actually summon out monsters as well as being able to set your traps and then activate on that turn, which is really nice. And then we are on the 3 Ariana, as well as like a lot of your stuff are now interrupted or they chain to it. Therefore, this can summon back out and then you can use it for different bodies. We're playing the 3 Ariana and we're actually playing the 1 Pink. This is the new addition to the deck. This essentially sends your transition roll back from the hand or the field. And then there it can summon out a copy of this, and this gives you a search, which is really nice. It also is a 2-level force here, so if you have summon this out and get this onto the field, then you have to search for your card. You can actually overlay for a Dweller, which is a very good this format, so important to note that interaction. And of course, they have the same effect where you can draw 2 cards and then obviously special summon or set. Really nice when we're playing a bunch of traps, being able to set those cards. That's it for the ladies of the deck, of course. We are playing the furniture still, which are 3, 3, and then 2. So a lot of builds before were only playing 1 Kuklok, or if you were playing less Arias, you would play more Kukloks. Kuklok is insane this format, so I don't want to play just one of it because it can get biscuited away, but I want to be able to search it, and if I don't search it, I want to have these cards. I want to always have it in rotation, being able to just add it back, summon it, put it in my hand, bounce it with Big Welcome, have all this stuff. Always Kuklok. Kuklok is extremely important. I cannot stress this enough. Kuklok is absolutely amazing. Being able to draw multiple of those traps off of the Ariana and Ariane, and then being able to activate them right away because you have a copy of Kuklok, just goes so free, helps you get so much advantage, and you can never have too much Kuklok. Obviously, you don't want to play 3 of it because it is bricky. And for the last 2 spells, we are playing the Labrynth, and the Labyrinth setup. I really wanted to fit Cobble the Grave in this deck. But the thing is, now with Transition Rollback, you don't necessarily, I don't say you don't care, but you don't care that much about your Big Welcomes being hit with Ash Blossom because you can still activate the effect in the graveyard, which is really nice about them. So they can't Ash that, unfortunately, or fortunately for us. Therefore, it's not that good. Obviously, setup can return our stuff. And then Lab's insane now that we're able to recruit those trap cards and just essentially pop every turn and summon. Then for the hand traps, we were playing only 3 Ash and 3 Imperm in the main deck. This is not part of your 11 card traps, so important to note. You still have your Imperms to play with, and then you have your Ash Blossoms. We wanted the most impactful stuff, and obviously, Ash is the most impactful in the format, as well as trap cards being Imperm just feels really nice. Imperm's kind of half hand trap, half an engine card. Then we are on the 3 Big Welcome and the 2 Little Welcomes. You do not need 3 Welcomes. I don't know anyone who's saying this. Do not play 3. You play 3 and 2. This card's absolutely insane. Konami is probably going to hit this, to be honest. Then for the other traps, we are playing the 3 Transition Rollback, as well as the 1 Rumble Turf, 2 Daruma Cannons, 2 of Ice Dragon Prison, and 1 Punishment. I'm not playing the copies of Extravagance in the deck, therefore we can actually play with their extra deck, which is why you'll see the extra deck is actually a playable extra deck. But it's important to note that this card here is not obviously legal, but we're going to be explaining it. This is coming out on Wednesday. So it's pay half your life points and target 1 normal trap in your opponent's graveyard. You'll never use this, but if you're playing against Labrynth, you possibly can. The effect becomes that normal trap. You can banish this card, which is what we're going to be doing. Setting it off Ariane or using any of the furniture cards to dump it. And then it just copies the effect, paying half your trap, targets your graveyard, and then the effect becomes that. What's important to note is the effect becomes that. Therefore, you can play cards like this. We were debating over the Rumble to Full or this card. This card in the graveyard, is he going to be able to stop your opponent's turn? They can't special summon from the hand, deck, or extra deck, which is also including you as well, so it's kind of important. But you do it during your opponent's turn, and therefore they're locked into their extra deck, and then you essentially get a free win there. But this is just significantly better, I find. Being able to do a bunch of stuff, being able to declare card names and stopping your opponents is just so much better, as well as having the banish effect doing the same thing, which is really nice. And then we wanted to play like a bunch of different traps, so I didn't want to play multiple copies of each. I wanted to play like 2, 2, and 2 rather than like 3, 2, and 1. I know before we were playing 3 of these, and then of course having the trap tricks, but now without playing trap tricks, because of the fact that we're playing rollback, you can like copy these effects. Therefore, it counts as 3 copies of each. Moving on to the extra deck, we are on the Anima. People keep playing into this, so we're going to keep playing it. The main phase 2 SP target there, so obviously go into that. And then we are upping the power cards. This insane card. This comes up so much now, being able to discard cards, including your transition rollbacks, not needing them in the hand at all. Summon out a copy of like Lovely or the Lady. You can like link away for this stuff, and it's just very important to keep those transition rollbacks in the graveyard. Darks, because the mirror match is important, as well as like you can take a random copy of like Diabellstar, which is nice. Then we are playing the 1 Dweller. You can't play level 4s, therefore you can Dweller, and this Dweller is just insane every format. I don't know why this card's still legal, to be honest. The 1 Typhon, and then the 1 Chaos Angel, as well as the 1 copy Underworld Goddess. This is the only monsters you actually find yourself summoning, some more than others, of course. You don't need Zeus in the deck, because a lot of times like you're going to go Typhon, and then you can't summon anymore. And then Dwellers like for your turn, and a lot of times you can link it away and stuff like that as well. But like grinding games don't happen that much, of course, anymore with this deck, because you're able to like spam 2 big welcomes essentially a turn. I'm using it obviously activation, and then having it the transition rollback in the graveyard, having the like 2 times, being able to bounce if it gets ashed, you still have your copy. Having essentially double big welcome is very, very crazy. You can loop the Chaos Angels with the Muckraker, and then just able to go for OTK lines. And then of course for any of those hard bodies you can just go over. Is very nice. I was thinking of playing like a copy of Dingirsu, but I couldn't really find ways to fit it in. Obviously these are your package. Bounce back, same thing as Ding, which is why I'm playing it. This is like your send, and of course your summon package. This is very nice, being able to summon a Lovely, having like the additional effect. You can also use Entis by popping 2 cards, which is really nice. And of course we have the Buffalis as well as Digarua. You can like arguably send this one if you have to get rid of any monster. Nothing really should be bigger than 35. And of course you also get your +1. A lot of times your body's not bigger than 15, like their body's bigger than 15. Therefore you have to send the Buffalis. But if you find yourself like playing against a bunch of decks that don't do this, you can obviously just send the Garua. But if you want to change anything, of course, you don't have to be playing this heavy punishment package. But I find it really nice, having those 6 cards that you can just choose whatever you want whenever you need it to. Is really cool. Moving on to the side deck. This is obviously just a basement of like what I think is going to be good. Obviously, depending on your locals, you can change it up. We're playing the 3 Nibiru, 3 Drolls. This is very mandatory. If you're not playing it in the main, you're playing it in the side. An important thing to note is you can actually chain this to one of your copies of the furniture as a discard. I mention this every time. Someone taught me it, and I think that everyone should know that card. If you activate Nibiru and then you chain a furniture discarding the Nibiru, the token does not summon, but the board does still get wiped. Very cool interaction. The 3 Druisworm and the 1 Magnemite. This is not as important in this format. You could absolutely cut them down to 3 Druisworms. But the thing is Labrynth is still very high represented. And being able to take those fields, like if you're able to take a Lovely from the graveyard, with this, you're just essentially winning the grind game completely in that deck. As well as, Brandon still being a deck, Runic Live Twin Sprite still being a deck. The Runic engine still running around Rampage, but they have a bunch of other engines, people playing the Bystials, people playing a bunch of stuff. You can still end up taking a bunch of cards out of that, and it still feels really good being able to send these for like a copy of SP. And then for the traps, we're playing the 1 DDG, 1 D-Barrier, 1 Eradicator, and then a really weird option is we're playing 2 Cosmics. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably clicked away by now, and Cosmic is definitely a weird option, but my reasoning behind this is Lab is a crazy card. Fire King Island is a crazy card. A bunch of the decks, if you end up if you end up cycloning one of their cards, they can't even roll back because it gets banished regardless. So like, the Sanctuary protects their monsters or their field spell by being destroyed, but it does not protect it being like done. So with Runic, this deck as well as the this deck as well as the Fire King deck running around, I wanted to see a card that like gets rid of all three of them. And I couldn't really find another option that I really wanted. Obviously, Eradicator does a lot, but like going second, I wanted to be able to play, and I was like, I don't really want a Lightning Storm. I don't really want evenly matches. So therefore, I chose to go for a copy of Cosmix instead. And it hasn't let me down yet, through testing at least. Regardless, hope you guys enjoyed watching the deck profile. Let me know in the comment section if anything else you would change. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm really excited to see how Transition Rollback affects the meta. And I really want to see like what people do with this deck. Obviously, I think there's different variations that we could play, but I think this is the most standard and easiest one to learn. So hope you guys enjoyed watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. Stay safe. Peace.